Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle. And as you've seen from the title, it is finally time to talk about the best mods of 2022. It is officially 2023, and now we get to look at the past year and talk about some of the most incredible mods that have come out. And it has really been a great year for Fallout 4 modding. Now, I'm going to try to go about this as the most unbiased way possible, but I will cherry pick just a couple of mods here and there. But the main way that I'm going to be showing off mods today is I'm actually going to be going by the most endorsements in the last year. I'm sure some people would probably prefer a most download sorting, but the problem is that whenever updates come out, you get more downloads that way, and it's a little complicated. So I'm going to go by endorsements, as endorsements really show how much people enjoy the mod. So it's not just mods I enjoy, but that the entire Nexus community has decided that they enjoy altogether. And I'm going to be honest, the list actually surprised me quite a bit. I kind of thought I knew what the top 5 mods of the year would be, but I was actually dead wrong. So this is a pretty interesting list. There's some really cool mods on here, and even some that I somehow never covered. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in with the first mod, which is FIS, the new FallUI Item Sorter by M8R98A4F2. Now, this is one of those mods that I just somehow never tried out, never downloaded, and quite frankly never gave a shot, and boy, that was a big mistake on my part. This mod is fantastic. I can see why it's one of the most endorsed mods this year. This mod is going to completely overhaul the way that your Pip-Boy works, at least in regards to your inventory. Now, there is a lot of wonderful ways to not only sort all of the items in your inventory, but it also has some beautiful color-coded icons and integration with other mods that make this thing absolutely fantastic. I feel like one of the best ways to show this off is to show it off in real time so that I can point out some of the really cool features available in this mod. So here we are in my Pip-Boy, and if I move over to my inventory tab, that's when we're going to start seeing some really cool stuff. This is a very different screen than you may be used to when looking at your weapons in Fallout. As you can see, there are now categories. That's right. So we can go into any of these categories and check out the different weapons available. So if you're packing a lot of heat, you don't have to scroll looking for that perfect weapon. Now you actually have categories, and you can sort them all sorts of ways. As we can see, we have an explosives category where I have frag grenades and the NPC grenades that I use for filming. And then we can go back to the last menu to check out the pistols I have on me. We have a 9mm, a 44, and even a zap pistol. Pretty neat. As you can see, these categories work flawlessly. Super cool. You can sort it by shotguns, rifles, energy weapons. You can even sort your melee weapons. All of that is super configurable in the MCM, and it's not just weapons that get this treatment. It's every tab of your inventory. As you can see, apparel, you can sort things by clothing, you can sort them by armor, and you can even sort them by power armor, which is pretty cool. And additionally, the aid item area I think is one of the best applications of this mod, because your aid items are typically super cluttered. But now if you need to heal, you go to the medicine category, you grab some stim packs or REDUX or blood packs, whatever it is that you need. But you can also grab your drugs, food, drinks, etc. Super cool. Even the miscellaneous items are sorted, which is pretty cool, and it even knows how to sort the settings menus from some of your mods. Like, as you can see, I have a thematic and practical holotape and a utility belt configuration. Super cool. But you can also sort out all your valuables, magazines, notes, and then even the junk items are separated by the raw components and the actual scrap items themselves. So cool. Some awesome sorting in this mod. Now, really quick, as mentioned earlier, this mod does have its own MCM menu where you can further configure these categories. We can go into the Pip-Boy subcategories, which is where you can add even more options like differentiating grenades and mines, the different types of melee weapons. As you can see, I already have the different types of guns. You can even sort the uniques to be different. This by default does have a lot of the apparel separated, which is very nice, but you can even change out if it's headwear or bodywear, which is pretty cool. You can actually add new tabs to the Pip-Boy, so you can separate weapons from melee weapons, from heavy weapons, explosives, armors, etc., which is pretty interesting. And then there's a handful of variations that you can apply different types of icons to, which is pretty cool. Altogether, I believe FIS is a wonderful sorting mod and something I may be implementing into a permanent spot in my load order. I'm still getting my load order ready for the new year, and this is something I may have to consider keeping permanently. It just goes to show that with a total of 191,000 downloads and over 3,000 endorsements, this mod is absolutely fantastic. So I'd highly recommend checking this one out. It'll be linked down in the description below, along with every other mod in this video. Now, the next mod we're going to be talking about is one that you guys probably expected to be on this list. Of course, this thing appeared in the top endorsed mods, and that is Fallout 4 Point Lookout by TheCapitalWastelandProject. Now, I expected a lot more of these big overhaul mods to appear, but it turns out Project Mojave actually came out in 2021. I wasn't aware that much time had passed already, but Point Lookout, if you're not aware somehow, is a complete recreation of the Point Lookout DLC from Fallout 3 remade for Fallout 4. This includes all of the assets, all of the quests, the entire map, voice acting, everything has been remade from scratch, and it's fantastic. As somebody who never got to experience Point Lookout when I played Fallout 3, being able to re-experience it in Fallout 4 has been an absolute treat. Not having to go back to a super clunky old game, being able to experience it in a new engine was definitely very, very nice. And I have to say, this mod is incredible. Even all of the NPCs have been recreated, which is a beautiful touch. Obviously, having a massive mod like this does come with one minor drawback, which is that it is not able to be put onto Xbox, but if you are a PC user, this is one experience that I'd highly recommend you get to try out for yourself, as it's a whole lot of fun. One thing I think Fallout 4's modding scene is always lacking is giant expansive quests and just quite frankly new content to experience. We get awesome new armors and weapon mods all the time, but what's the point if you can't use them on anything? And this is going to add a whole new experience for you to, well, experience. So if you have the opportunity to, again, links will be down in the description, go try this one out for yourself. There's just too much to cover in one small segment. Again, this is an entire Bethesda DLC remade for Fallout 4. It is top notch, of the highest quality, one of the best mods we probably have for Fallout 4, period. Now, the next mod is another one that I haven't really tried out, and I'm kind of surprised to see it sitting amongst the highest endorsed mods of the year, but hey, people really seem to like this one. This is known as HiPoly Faces REDUX by SQR17. This mod makes a very subtle change to the game that may not even be noticeable as soon as you look at the screen, but essentially, it's just going to make player characters' faces much higher poly, and there's even a way to add this to NPCs. It's not super noticeable. It's not really going to change the look of faces. It's not going to have any aesthetic changes. It's just going to make them higher quality. If you were to look at the faces side by side, all you'd see is that with this mod enabled, the face is a lot smoother. You're not going to see some of those jagged edges. For people who do like looking at their character or making custom characters, period, if they spend a lot of time in that area, then this mod is probably perfect for them. Personally, for somebody like me, it's not a huge deal as I play in first person and never see my character's face at all, but again, there is definitely an audience for this, and it is still a very high quality mod. You can definitely tell that these new face models are much higher quality than the original. It's really in the title, is a high poly face model. It does exactly what it says in the title, but it does it very, very well. Even though it is rather high poly, it's not going to have really any performance impact. Again, it is on your character's face, and if you play primarily in first person, you're never even going to see this, but if you are a third person player, it's still not going to affect your game really at all. Now, when you download this mod, again, it is automatically applied to your player character, but there is also an optional file that you can download that will give this to all of the companions in the game as well. So at the very least, the most important characters in the game do have this nice high poly face. It does not automatically apply to every NPC, but there is a way to add this high poly face mesh to other NPCs if you follow the description down on the mod page. It's a pretty simple mod, but coming in at over 200,000 downloads and almost 3,000 endorsements, this is definitely one that people seem to really, really enjoy. So if you want to check it out, it'll be linked down in the description below. Now, the next mod we're talking about is actually a weapon mod, something I was not at all expecting to see in the top endorsed mods of the year, but hey, apparently people really like this one, and I know I liked it when I checked it out for the first time. This mod is known as the HK USP Pistol by Subleader100. This mod adds a super high quality modern tactical pistol into your game, and this one actually came out at the very beginning of the year, back all the way in January of 2022, but people seem to have been loving it ever since its release. Not only does this mod add a highly customizable HK USP, but it also adds a unique version of it as well that you may recognize as something from another very, very popular video game. As far as weapon mods go, this thing has pretty much everything you'd expect, including patches for tactical reload, see-through scopes. Of course, this thing has beautiful custom animations, and it even is added to the leveled list, starting at level 20, though this is in an optional file. It does not come by default. But even if you choose not to have it added to the level list, you can at least buy it from traders or craft it at the chemistry station. Coming in with a total of 170,000 downloads, that makes for a very, very popular weapon mod, and I have to say it's probably one of the best pistol mods on the Nexus, period. This thing is super high quality, wonderful work by Subleader as always, and if you're looking for a wonderful new pistol, this is definitely one I'd recommend. Not to mention, this one's not only available for PC, but Xbox as well, so you console users feel free to go ahead and check this one out too. But with that, we're finally at our last mod, which is the most endorsed mod of the year. Not the most downloaded, but the most endorsed. Whenever people saw this mod, they really felt the need to endorse it. And it's actually one that I use in my own load order, and that is the REACTOR ENB by Sevenence. I guess I didn't really know what to expect for the most endorsed mod of the year, but this one is definitely deserving. I think it's one of the highest quality ENBs I've ever used. Not only does it make the game look absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't have a too severe performance dip like some other ENBs. In my opinion, this is a beautiful ENB preset with some awesome depth of field settings. The colors are absolutely perfect. I love the shadows. Just about everything in this mod is awesome. And it has complete integration with NACX, a very popular weather mod. And I think pairing those two together is really, really nice. I think pairing this with the right environment mods makes for a really realistic looking game with awesome shadows and just incredible scenery and ambience. As somebody who was anti-ENB for a very long time, finally trying this one out completely changed my stance and has since never left my load order. For the past year, you've probably seen this in a majority of my videos. It's absolutely fantastic, and I fell in love with it immediately. Even after this mod exposed me to ENBs, I've tried a couple others, but I keep coming back to this one as it is definitely my favorite, and it just goes to show it's the most endorsed mod on the Nexus right now. People love this thing, and so if you're into ENBs at all, or you want to try making your game look just a bit better, definitely give this one a shot. It's come up a few times on the channel when I've talked about ways to make your game look better, or just mods that are essential to me. This is one of them. It's fantastic, and everybody else seems to think it's fantastic too. But hey, don't let groupthink get you down. Try this one out for yourself, determine if it's right for you. Personally though, I think it's fantastic. But with that, that's everything for today's video. Those are the top 5 mods of the past year. I'm not gonna lie, I did skip a couple here and there when looking at the raw endorsements number because my Nexus is a little bit filtered. I have a couple of categories disabled, like not safe for work mods, stuff like that. So my top 5 endorsed mods may look a bit different from yours. So just keep that in mind. If you want to check out what yours might look like, it'll be a little bit different, possibly, depending on how your Nexus looks. Regardless, all 5 of the mods today are super high quality and definitely mods that stood out in the past year to a lot of Nexus users, so these are definitely worth checking out. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I hope you've been enjoying the mod bundles lately. If you have any ideas for other mod bundle episodes, be sure to let me know down in the description. I'd love to have your feedback. But with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. It really helps out the channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this. We'll be doing a whole lot more this year. Stay tuned for more Fallout content. Big shout out to all of my patrons for supporting every single video, and a very special thank you to Avian4, Captain Chaos, Helljumper, Indecisive Wolf, John Moreland, Cushy, Logan Rigmaiden, Microhan, Moonlit Gamer, Feed, Scott, Timmy76, Youth RC, and Voider for joining that Tier 3 Patreon membership. If you'd like to support the channel over on Patreon, it would help out a whole lot. It'll be linked down in the description below, but it is completely optional. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace!